jet black hair, prototypical goth kid. Mark is based on Stephen Hopkins. No shit. If you see interviews with this guy, you can see it. In the scene with all the inmates in the asylum, they just put out a casting call to any actor in the area. So they all showed up, and when they started, it became very tough to move. A lot of them were method actors, and Robert Englund had to fight to get his one shot. He had to literally like push and shove people out of the way to get into that one frame that he had.
Well, because they are all probably like, who's this fucking asshole thinking he's...
Well, I don't think it was that. I think it was more along the lines of they were all trying to be effective, but but you're getting like theater actors who just live and breathe. They weren't screen actors. They don't know, like, okay, this is the main actor, let him through. They're just like, no, we do this job, and we push people, and we shove, and we're crazy, like, we're insane. And Robert's like, I gotta be on screen, otherwise this effect doesn't make any fucking sense. So
that's a tagline for the movie.
Pretty much, yeah. Lisa Wilcox claims shooting the scene was very scary, almost felt real. I could see that. The makeup for Freddy on this film, the attempt was to make him look older, but like everything else, it was very rushed, and no one was happy with the final product. I do kind of agree. The makeup's not great on Freddy in this one. It's a little... I mean, it looks a little cheap. Not gonna lie.
A little cheap, dog.
Yeah, little pitchy. According to Stephen Hopkins, they got lots of... This is a scene with the armed tarantula. So they got a lot of tarantulas. Hand-painted them red and green. And on the floor of the stage, they placed a little wall in the shape of an arm and had trainers come in and around the tarantulas. The plan was simply to drop the wall and the film, the resulting scattering of the spiders. However, after they got the shot, they left the studio full of around 200 angry spiders. Hopkins figured, we probably carried on shooting on another set, I'm sure. I don't think anyone ever found them again.
Oh, Jesus.
As far as the director knows, these spiders roam freely throughout the studio.
And that's how we all die.
However, he's like, or maybe somebody else. It was somebody else's job to deal with this tarantulas. It wasn't my job, so somebody must have accounted for them, but he doesn't know. So it is entirely possible that they just launched 200 tarantulas out into the world. So if you get bit by a tarantula, maybe you can blame the production of A Nightmare on Elm Street 5. Okay. How's that?
Peter would have been pissed.
Yeah.
You did what?
I didn't look to see
200.
I didn't look to see at the end of the flick, but I wonder if they had one of those like no animals were harmed.
You painted them?
Well, painting them I think is okay as long as you use a certain kind of paint that won't harm them. But I think it's the whole we're just going to drop them and let them loose. I think is the part that they would have a problem with.
Oh, flying by the seat of your pants.
Yeah, really. So during the scene with Dan in the truck, when it was on fire, and he says, "Hi, Alice, want to make babies?" People on the freeway stopped to check on him because it looked so real. So he would just be like crawling out of the fucking wreckage, and people would be stopping like, "Oh my God, do you need help?" It's like, "No, I'm good. We're making a movie. I swear. Like, it's not real. I promise."
Have you seen any spiders?
So while wearing makeup for her death scene, Erica Anderson was told that she should eat only protein shakes and things she could eat through a straw, so as to not mess up the makeup. But with these days being long, one day she got so hungry that she decided to eat real food. They had spaghetti that day. And all the tomato sauce pooled in the bottom of the prosthetic mouth, and she had to smell rotting sauce all day. Because that's what you want.
You were warned.
Yeah, really. So... Also, I forgot to write this one down, but this is a story from way back when. So you know the end scene where, like, the Freddy's crawling through, like, trying to slice open his mother, and the doors pull back and they slam shut and then break and then slam shut, break, slam shut, break. Those were filmed. That sequence was filmed on the hottest day of the year. It's like 107 degrees Fahrenheit, and they're all the guys were doing it because it's just miniatures, right? So all the guys doing it are, as the guy said who did it, he was just like, yeah, it was just a bunch of naked dudes running around. Like, they were all in their underwears and tennis shoes because it's so fucking hot.
Sounds like Hollywood to me!
Right? And hanging with the boys. So they're filming it, and it's a bunch of candy glass, right? So it's all shattering, and it's taking hours and hours and hours. So it's all shattering and landing on the ground. So the ground is starting to get full, like, it's all melting, too. So it's all starting to get full of the sugar, and apparently... Like they were walking through sludge. And at one point in time, they broke for lunch. And they went to, like, Denny's or some such shit. and they walked in like wearing practically nothing and just the shoes and shit like that, and they're like, it smelled like a carnival threw up. It was just so bad.
You know what the funny thing is? But nobody questioned that.
Yeah. Well, it's Hollywood.
And it's Deddy, so they're just like...
They're like, oh, you're just the fucking 2 o'clock. All right, cool.
Would you like a moon over my hammy? And a coffee.
The best part about it is, though, is once they finished filming it, they showed it to Stephen Hopkins, and he hated it, so they had to redo it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's like, no,
yeah,
fucking you
it's
do
horrible.
it.
You gotta... Do you know what we went? You know what?
Fuck you.
I'm gonna release 200 spiders.
Yeah, there's got to be a tarantula around here somewhere, fucker. And he's like, the guy telling it, he was just like, I really wish I'd kept those shoes because those shoes were destroyed. Because he's like, at one point in time, by the end of it, it was about 3 inches thick off the ground.
Just like a keepsake or whatever?
Of this like horrible fucking candy glass.
I need to be reminded of a horrible day.
Yeah, really.
Eating moon over on my hammy in your goddamn underwear at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Shoes all melted.
Alright, so this may be one of the greatest things that's ever happened that I really wish they hadn't cut. So here's where I just start discussing about a bunch of the cut stuff. So, because this movie was hacked to shit, by the way.
You would have thought Jason was in this movie. Machete.
File. So, the graduation sequence was cut down significantly to speed up the pacing of the film. As a result, there are several continuity errors. If you can see, actually, in one of the very beginning shots of the graduation, Alice is holding the plane ticket that Dan hands her about 10 minutes from that shot. She's holding it, and holding it, and holding it, and holding it. And I think I actually just jumped the gun of what I'm going to say. So if I repeat that, deal with it. Among the cut footage was Dan's graduation speech, which was much longer.
That's fine.
Dialogue, yeah, I agree. Dialogue between Greta and her mother, Racine, which I think would have actually been better.
What did she...
It would have
added
given
her screen time.
Yeah. Additional dialogue about the parents and future plans. A scene in which Alice's father gives her a camera she had been saving up for as a graduation present before she went to Paris. If you watch closely, and when she's talking to her father, she hands him a camera.
Yeah.
This is the camera that he gave her.
Yeah.
She didn't have the camera in her hand initially, and it just all of a sudden it fucking
Ta-da!
shows up. But yeah, okay, so I actually didn't jump the gun. But yeah, she's holding like when she starts walking alone.
Because she hands her dad the camera, going, "Well, for pictures, silly."
Yeah, and also, like I said, like long before when she's talking to Greta and Yvonne, which I'm about to get to in a minute, is the best cut scene in the whole fucking movie. Mm-hmm. She's already holding the plane tickets.
All right,
so it gets that point. But if you remember when she runs into Greta and Yvonne,
yeah,
and they do that odd high five, there was a reason for that. That was cut. And I'm going to explain it to you right now, that there was, in fact, a rap between Yvonne, Alice, and Greta, which I will now perform for you.
Oh, Jesus.
So, want to give me a beat?
Oh, God.
No.
No, I don't. Not even a little bit.
All right, so here we go. And this is clearly 1989 white people rapping. I mean, aside from Yvonne, but still, let's face it, she didn't write it. So... Wow, this is more embarrassing than I thought it was going to be. I was so excited to do this. Now I'm like, oh god, this is terrible.
2019 white person rapping. So.
Well, I'm not intending to rap. I'm just going to read these verbatim.
William Shatner that shit, bro.
I intend to. Should I do it in a British accent? Anyway, so here we go. So Yvonne starts first. She's pushing Alice into it because Alice is not feeling it because she's, all upset about the potential Freddy dream. So anyway, so Yvonne... This is so stupid. I'm the Y, the V, O-N-N-E, and wherever I am, that's the place to be. To which all three say Yvonne.
Yvonne!
There you go. Alright, so you follow that. Alice. I'm the A-L-I-C-E. Blonde hair on my head, blue eyes to see.
Alice!
Alright. Greta. The G-R-E-T-A. And my mom says I'll be in magazines one day.
Greta!
And all three together. We're the three together, and together we'll be the Y, the A, and don't forget the G.
Y-A-G!
Thug life, yeah.
And you wonder why that was cut.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you why. I know why.
Because
I'm sure that was delivered horribly.
Well, I don't know. According to an interview with Kelly Jo Minter, she was like, a lot of my friends were really into hip-hop. They would have been very embarrassed by this. But she does not remember it. She doesn't remember performing it.
Oh, God, it was...
blocked that shit out like nom.
30 years ago now?
No, this was fucking in the 90s. She was
okay, so still, hey, you remember it then. It was only 10 years. You remember it.
But again, you blocked that shit out.
You don't want to remember it.
You blocked that shit out. You heard that. That's fucking atrocious. Come on. Although, I mean,
if you cut Mark in there going... Oh,
well, Mark hadn't shown up yet.
That's true.
However, there is a significant amount of money I would pay to see this footage. I'm not kidding. Just saying. If any of you have this footage, get in touch with me. Anyway. So another edit, all the death scenes were cut down significantly in order to appease the MPAA. In fact, they sent it in 18 times to stop getting an X rating. Dan's original motorcycle death was longer and contained much more gore. Many sequences showing Dan's face racked in pain were cut, as well as the tendrils of the bike inserting into his skin, and also like the pieces of more of the skin falling off.
See, the pain thing, that doesn't make much sense. I get the whole
that makes
things
it more,
going into
the idea
the body,
is that makes it more frightening, and they're kind of like, we don't want it to be too
why
frightening.
would we want a scary movie to be scary?
Well, this is why I don't like the MPAA.
This scary movie's too scary. Make it less scary, please.
Watch the movie, what's the documentary called again?
Oh, we've already mentioned that.
But still,
yeah.
Watch it, and you'll see why I'm not against it.
Please,
yes, thank you.
I think it's on YouTube.
Yeah, go watch it. It's amazing. Along with extra screams and Freddy's laughter, these were all cut.
Yeah.
Scenes
it's a great scene still, though.
Yeah, scenes which are seen on screen for only a few seconds are several minutes long in the film. So his death is actually surprisingly long if you actually watch the uncut version.
All of them are, right?
Which I did.
Yeah.
No, actually, Greta's death is roughly the same length.
There's only
a couple. There's only one shot cut out. It is literally
quite the shot, though.
Sorry, 2 shots cut out.
It's quite the shot.
Because unfortunately, in my preparation, I forgot I was going to watch both versions. Right. I only watched the uncut version. I forgot to watch the original to do my own check. So I could be wrong when I say these things. So bear with me, because it's been a while since I've watched the original cut. Because I try to only watch the uncut if I can, and I fortunately have the ability to do so. Greta's dinner scene was also edited. Originally, Freddy filleted the Greta doll. Did he do that in the original? No, okay. So that's what I'm talking about.
I believe so.
Causing blood to spurt out of it. And then he force-fed her its innards. Shots of the guests laughing were cut down significantly. Also, after Freddy says, "You are what you eat," there's a cut where it shows that he's also pulling pieces of her out of her and feeding them to her. Yeah. But one thing I was surprised, you never actually see him feed her pieces of herself.
Right.
It just shows him pulling out the innards, and then it cuts past him having fed her.
Yeah, and then it just cuts right to her like face down on the table and actually dying in real life.
Well, no, he picks her up.
Yeah.
And does the whole, like, because he's got to fake that she's choking.
And then she does the shaky thing.
Yeah.
Because that's how people choke, with their arms out, dangling.
Actually, some of them do.
They flail. They don't dangle.
No, I've seen it. I've actually seen somebody do that.
Really?
Yeah, it freaked me out because I'd seen this movie. I was like, wow, people actually fucking do that. That's disturbing. This explains why the Greta doll in Mark's dream is bleeding from the torso. Because you see that, you see the doll bleeding, and you're like, well, we didn't see that part.
Yeah.
Finally, Mark's demise is also cut down. As Freddy shreds the paper, in the unrated release, his face is animated and shows him screaming. Because I believe the one you saw, his face is static. Like, his face doesn't move when he's being cut.
No, he's like, whoa!
Is he?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
He's screaming along with cries of pain until Freddy cuts the paper head off, which I don't believe you had.
He just shreds him.
Yeah.
You just see bits of paper flying
well,
in
you
the
see
air.
that, but you actually see pieces fall on the ground, and one of them is his head. That eventually goes static because at that point he's dead.
Yeah.
And then Freddy goes insane and just basically makes confetti. All 3 scenes can be viewed unedited in the original unrated VHS release, which is how I watched